You're now on video. 90 plus 90 plus 90 is 270, and that is the measurement of the arc IJH. All right, for the next one, we have the LO is congruent to MN. That's the arc is equal to this arc right here. It also tells me that the arc measures 95. That means this one measures 95. Don't forget from yesterday's notes that a central angle measures an arc. That means this is also 95. So x equals 95. On the next one, it says perpendicular chords. If a radius or a diameter is perpendicular to a chord, then that chord and its arc are both bisected. Remember, bisected means they're cut in half. What they're saying is that if HF and EG are perpendicular, that means at 90 degrees, then we know that EJ is going to be congruent to JG. So this little segment and equals this little segment. We will also then know that the arc EF is going to be congruent to the arc FG. Now it's this one is equal to this one. The other thing that we need to know, and this is part of your homework assignment and your test, so please make sure that you understand this, that they're going to tell us that KF is a radius, and they're going to give you the value. That's going to be equal to or congruent to EK or KE. So that line was not on there, and it's not going to be in your homework either. You have to create it, and you have to set them equal. So this is KE. These two segments are equal to each other. KF is the same thing as KE. They're both radius. And we learned that last time, that all radiuses are equal. All right, so let's take a look. On the first one, it says that AB is 70. And it wants to find BD. That's this whole thing right here. But I know that this is also 70. So 70 plus 70 is equal to 140. And that is equal to the measurement of the arc BD. It gives me the KI, that's the whole length right here, is 6. That means this is 3 and this is 3. And they tell me that FG is 5. And this is where I told you that you would have to create a radius that also equals 5. Why does that matter? It wants the measurement GH, this one right here, which is not a radius, it's a little bit less than that, so we're going to call it X. There's a problem like this on your homework and on your test. So now we have to do the Pythagorean Theorem. X squared plus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared. X squared plus 9 is equal to 25. Subtract 9 from both sides. X squared is equal to 16. The square root of both sides. X is equal to 4. I want to remind you that in Algebra 2, you're going to have to put plus and minus 4, because negative 4 times negative 4 still gives you 16. But in geometry, since we're talking about lengths, the positive one is the only one that matters. That means that GH equals 4. Let's take a look at the next one. LO is 12. MP, this radius, is 13. That means that this radius is also 13. Why does that matter? We can do the Pythagorean Theorem and solve for this little length right here. 12 squared plus x squared is equal to 13 squared. 144 plus x squared is equal to 169. We're going to subtract 144 from both sides. X squared is equal to 25. The square root of both sides. X is equal to 5. Be careful though, it wants the measurement of MO. MO is this length. There's a problem like this in your homework assignment. That means that we're going to take the full radius, 13, and subtract the 5 right here. So even though my picture doesn't look quite right, it still says that MO is 8. And that is the measurement of the segment MO. And then the last one for this pair of notes is that we have a arc that measures 120 degrees. So our S is 120 degrees. And it wants the measurement of R, S, and it goes all the way to Q. So we can do this a couple of ways. I see that this is 180 because it's a diameter. So we just add these two things together. So 180 plus 120, which gives you 300 as the measurement of the arc RSQ. This is the foldable for section 10.3. We're going to fold it towards that dotted line. And what it is arcs and chords, and we have congruent arcs. What that means is that if they tell us that this section AD, this segment right here, is congruent to this section BC, that's this chord right here, then their arcs are also congruent. That means this arc is congruent to this arc. We're going to make different notations because they have different measurements, but it was AD, the arc, is congruent to the arc BC. It does say that if and only if, and what if and only if means that the reverse is also true. If I know that the arc AD is congruent to the arc BC, then I know that the line segments are equal, or the chords. AD is congruent to the chord BC. So how would we use this information? Let's take a look inside. It's telling you that the arc AC is congruent to the arc BD. That means that this chord is equal to this chord. It says AC is equal to 3x plus 4 and BC is equal to 5x. Find the length of AC. All right, so we need to find the value of x. Since I know that they're equal, we're going to set them equal to each other. 3x plus 4 is equal to 5x. Then we're going to subtract the 3x from both sides. 4 is equal to 2x. Divide by 2. 2 is equal to x. Please be careful. It does say to find AC, so we need to plug it into AC. AC is equal to 3 times x, which is now 2, plus 4. That's 6 plus 4, 10. Making AC 10. On the next one, it says that GF is congruent to EF. That means that their arcs are also equal to each other. And they're telling me that GE is equal to 80. I know that the whole circle is equal to 360. So I'm going to do 360 minus 80, which gives me, thanks, 280. On the 280, that's the rest of it. That's the whole thing right here. So we're going to have to divide by 2 to get each of these sections. So I'm going to say 280 divided by 2 gives me 140. And that is the measurement of the arc GF. For the next one, it tells me that HI, the arc, is congruent to JK. It also tells me that HI and KH are congruent. And 90. So they tell me this is 90, this is 90. So I'm going to do 360 minus 90 for this one, minus 90 for that one. And that gives me 180. 180 divided by 2, because both of these are 2 equal to each other, gives me 90. That means this is 90. And this is also 90. Why does that matter? It wants the measurement of IJH. IJH. And IJH is 90 plus 90 plus 90.